Hello, my friends. Tonight I'm going to share with you a story that will make you question everything. The limits of reality, the secrets of the human mind, and those strange phenomena that repeat throughout history, reaching us from the deepest darkness. Have you ever wondered about the places where souls vanish? About those moments when a person evaporates from the face of the earth, leaving no trace? There are scientific explanations, of course, but what if there were other forces working in the shadows, forces we cannot understand, forces we cannot see? Before we begin, don't forget to subscribe to the channel and hit that bell icon so you never miss the update. And share this video with your friends if you dare. The year is 1998. Australia. A small, quiet town. Or so it seemed. This is where Natasha Ryan was born, a girl ordinary on the outside, but whose life was full of shadows. Natasha was not a happy child. She was suspended from school multiple times and struggled with deep personal issues. She experimented with substances, and her relationship with the adult world was troubled. But the strangest thing was her relationship with Scott Black, a man nearly a decade older than her who had previously dated her sister before moving on to Natasha. A toxic relationship filled with tension and mystery. Before her final disappearance, Natasha vanished on 2 prior occasions, and in both instances, it was Scott who helped her hide, then brought her back home. It was like a strange game or a terrifying test. Then came August 31st, 1998. The day everything vanished. Her parents dropped her off at school as usual, but when they went to pick her up after classes, she wasn't there. Natasha had disappeared as if she had evaporated into thin air. Her mother, hysterical, called the police. An intensive search began. Hundreds of police officers, rescue teams, volunteers, everyone fanned out in every direction, looking for the missing girl, but it was all in vain. The search effort cost over $400,000, but all that money, all that effort, yielded nothing. After weeks of searching, hope began to fade. People started talking about the worst-case scenarios, about a serial killer operating in the area, about a horrific crime that had not been uncovered. The police were investigating a series of similar crimes that had occurred during the same period, crimes of violence and abduction. And the victims were all young girls. Then Leonard Fraser emerged, a strange, reclusive man. He would abduct young girls, subject them to horrific acts, and then end their lives. He kept trophies from his victims in his home, locks of hair, clothing, photographs, damning evidence of his crimes. The police arrested Leonard Fraser and charged him with murder, but there was no concrete evidence linking him to the murder of Natasha Ryan. He confessed to killing other girls and mentioned Natasha's name among his victims, but it wasn't enough for a conviction. 5 years passed, 5 years of pain, grief, and waiting. Her family lived on a sliver of hope. They believed Natasha was dead, but they hoped her killer would be caught and punished. Then came that day, April 10th, 2003, a day that changed everyone's lives forever. The police received a mysterious letter from an unknown person. The letter said, "Natasha is alive. She is at specific address. Go to her and speak with her." The police didn't believe it at first, but they decided to check. They went to the address mentioned in the letter, and they found Natasha, hidden in an internal closet in the home of Scott Black. Natasha was alive, but she was pale and terrified. And when they asked her why she had disappeared, she said she had run away from Scott, run away from her life. If you were in my place, what would you have done? How would you have reacted after all this? In court, the judge made a bizarre ruling. He found Leonard Fraser not guilty of murdering Natasha Ryan, because Natasha was alive. The moment her father broke down, the moment his daughter returned from the dead, a moment no one could comprehend. Natasha claimed she had never known Leonard Fraser, that she had been living in Scott Black's house all those years. She would hide in the closet whenever someone came to the house, and she lived a normal life inside the house, while the world believed she was dead. Scott Black, who had denied everything at first, finally admitted that he had been hiding Natasha, that he had threatened her if she tried to run away or reveal his secret. Scott was sentenced to 3 years in prison, later reduced to 1 year. In 2006, Natasha was fined $1,000 for causing psychological distress to the police and the public, for the lies and the act. But why? Why did Natasha do it? What was she hiding? And what drove her to hide for all those years? Was she a victim, or was she a participant in a bigger crime? Was she trying to protect herself, or was she trying to protect Scott? The strange thing is, similar stories recur throughout history, in different cultures around the world. Stories of girls who disappear only to reappear years later, living secret lives. What if there are hidden forces at work in the shadows? Forces we cannot understand, forces we cannot see. What if souls cling to life in strange and unexpected ways? This is the story of Natasha Ryan, a terrifying story full of mystery and suspense, a story that will make you question everything. But is this the end of the story, or is it just the beginning? Think about this. 5 years in a closet. Not as a prisoner in chains, but as a voluntary ghost in a house that was both a sanctuary and a cage. She heard the world looking for her. She saw her parents' anguish on the news. She lived through the entire nightmare from the inside. What kind of psychological fracture does that create? What door closes in the mind to make that seem like a viable choice? And Scott Black? What kind of hold did he have over her? Was it fear? Dependency? A twisted sense of love? He created a world for two, sealed off from reality, where she was his secret and he was her entire universe. That's a power more intimate, and in some ways more terrifying than the violence of a stranger. It's a darkness that doesn't lurk in alleyways, but in living rooms. It doesn't snatch you away. It convinces you to stay hidden. The serial killer, Leonard Fraser, became a convenient monster, a symbol of evil that everyone could focus on, a name to blame for the void Natasha left behind. His confession added a layer of macabre finality that everyone, even her family, accepted. It's chilling to think that the real story was happening just a few miles away, in a mundane house, while a different kind of monster sat in a cell claiming a crime he didn't commit. It makes you wonder, how many other truths are hiding behind the stories we think we know? So I ask you again, is this the end? Natasha and Scott eventually reunited, had a child. They tried to build a normal life on the foundation of a 5-year lie that shattered countless others. Can a story like this ever truly have an ending? Or does it just become a permanent shadow, a question mark that hangs over every ordinary day that follows? The unknown is often more frightening than the monster we can name. Tonight, the unknown was in a closet. Where will it be tomorrow? Don't forget to subscribe to the channel and hit the bell so you never miss our journeys into the unexplained. Share this video with your friends if you want them to question the ordinary world around them just a little. Until next time, sleep with the lights on.